Hello everyone, in this video we will be discussing percentages. It is a very important topic in all the competitive examinations and even in campus recruitment. So in this video we will be discussing the questions with tricks and shortcuts so that you can solve the questions in a very faster manner. So let's move on to the video. So the first question is, two numbers are respectively 20% and 25% lower than the third number, and we have to find how much percentage is the second number lower than the first. So whenever these types of questions are given, so we will assume one number as 100 and you will deduce the values according to the question. So suppose here the comparison of the first number and the third number both is done with the third number. That is, first number is also compared with the third number and the second number is also compared with the third number. So what I'll do is I'll take the third number as 100. Okay, now the first number is 20% lower than the third number. So 20% of 100 would be 20. So 20% lower than the third number means the remaining is 80. So the first number would be 80. So 80 is 20% lower than 100. Okay, so second number is 25% lower than the third number. So it would be 75. Okay, so now the question is, by how much percent is the second number lower than the first number? So we have to compare the comparison of second number made with respect to the first number. So first number is the number in action. So that is the number which is taken as a standard for comparison. Okay, it is lower than the first number. So it is taken as a standard for comparison. So the denominator we would be having the first number. Okay, whichever is there after then, it would be there in the denominator. You can remember like this. And you have to calculate the percentage, that how much lower is this. So what is the difference between 80 and 75? It is 5. So it would be 5 by 80 into 100. Okay, and it would be, when you solve it, you would get 25 by 4, which would be equal to 6 4s are 24 and 1 would be the remainder. So it would be 61 by 4%. You can just cancel it out, it will be 25 by 24 only. So this is how it is solved. Let's move on to the next question. This would be also similar to the first one. So I will be covering around 2 questions of similar type so that you would be used to solving it. Peter earned 40% more than Albert. Okay, now Peter is compared to Albert. Okay, and Albert learned 20% less than Michael. Now Albert is compared to Michael. So here Peter is compared to Albert and Albert is compared to Michael. So what I'll do is I'll take Michael as 100. Okay, and we have to make a comparison between Peter and Michael, that is then Michael. So Michael would be at the denominator. So let's see the question. So I'll take Michael as 100. Okay, now the first comparison, the Michael is compared to whom? Albert. Albert earned 20% less than Michael. So if Michael is 100, Albert would be what? Less than 20%. 20% of 100 is 20. So 100 minus 20 is 80. So Albert would contain 80. Okay, and that Peter earned 40% more than Albert. So we have to add 80 plus 40% of 80. So what would be the 40% of 80? See, suppose I have to calculate the 40% of 80. If I have 800, suppose. Okay, so 10% would be 80, 1% would be 8. Okay, so in our question it is 80. So I have 80, so 10% would be 8. Okay, and 40% would be 8 into 4, which would be equal to 32. So what I'll do is, Peter is having 40% more than Albert. So we'll be adding this 80 and 32, which would be equal to 112. Okay, now in the question, how much money did Peter earned more than Michael? So it is earned more than Michael. So Michael would be at the denominator. And what is the difference between Peter and Michael? It is 12. So obviously it is 12%. 112 minus 100 is 12. But like seeing this only you can say, because it is 100 and it is 112. So it is 12% is the answer. Okay, next question. Okay, if A's wage with respect to B's, so it is A with respect to B. Okay, A's wage with respect to B is 20% more. Okay, then how much percent B's wage is less than with respect to A? So in this case, I'll take B as 100 because A is 20% more than 100. If B is 100, A is 20% more than 100. So it would be 20% of B is 20% more means 100 plus 20. It would be 120. So it is 20% more than 100. It is 120. Now, we have to calculate how much percent is B's wage less with respect to A's wage. So here with respect to is with A. So denominator we will be having 120, and in the numerator we have to calculate the difference. So that by how much it is less. So it is 20. It is 20 by 120 into 100. Okay. When we calculate it, you will get 50 by 3. 50 by 3 you can remember. 50 by 3 is 16 2 by 3%, and similar way 100 by 3 it would be 33 1 by 3. Like this you can remember the percentages value also. So 50 by 3 would be 16 2 by 3. So this is the answer for this. Next. Okay. In a mixture of milk and water, the proportion of water by weight was 75%. Suppose suppose it is 100%. Okay. In this 100%, 75% is water it is given, and 25% is, obviously it would be milk and water. If 60 grams of the mixture, if in the 60 grams of the mixture, 50 grams of water was added, what would be the percentage of water? Okay, so we are talking about the percentage of water only. So we'll calculate how much water is there in 60 gram. So total if the total mixture is 60 gram. Okay, the mixture is 60 gram. In 60 gram water mixture, there would be some water and there would be some milk. So we'll be calculating the water in the 60 gram mixture. Okay. So it is 75% and 25%. So 75, when we cancel out, we can say the ratio is 3:1. We can say it like this. So what is the quantity of water? It is 3 by 4. Means if we have a 100 gram mixture, 75% would be water. If we have a 4 gram mixture, 3 would be water. Similarly, if we have a 60 gram mixture, so 3 by 4th of this 60 gram, it would be water. Okay, so when you solve this, you will get 45. Okay, you will get 45. 15s are, and this 15 3s are 45. You will get 45 gram is water in 16 gram. Okay, now what we have done is, now the water is how much? It is 45 gram, and how many water we are adding? In the 60 gram of mixture, 15 gram of water was added. So plus 15. So now the total water is 60 gram is the total water. Okay, now the mixture, let's see, initially we had 60 gram of mixture, we had added 15 gram of water. Now the mixture is of 75 gram. Okay, and from the 75 gram mixture, in the 75 gram mixture, 60 gram is water. So the question is, what would be the percentage of water? So water is 60 out of 75 into 100. Okay, we can cancel it out. It is 3s are, it is 4s are, this is 20, so it would be 80%. Okay, 1 liter of water is evaporated from a 6 liter solution containing 4% sugar. Okay, so see, in a 6 liter solution, initially the solution was 6 liter, and after 1 liter has evaporated, it has become 5 liters. Okay, in 6 liter, 4% was sugar. It is 4% sugar. So you can calculate the amount of sugar in this, that is 4% of 6 liter. So it is simple, 4% of 6 liter, what is it? You can calculate. You will calculate the amount of sugar, and by cancelling it, you will get, when you cancel it, it will be 600, it will 24. Okay, it would be 0.24. Okay, 0.24 liters would be the amount of sugar in 6 liters of water. Okay, you understood this? Now, when 1 liter has been evaporated, only water has been evaporated. The amount of sugar is the same. So here also the amount of sugar would be 0.24. Okay, so 0.24 is the sugar amount of sugar, and total it is 5 liters. So it is 5 into 100. 5 ones are 520. So when you calculate it, you will get the answer as 4 by 5. Or you can write it as 4.8. It would be 4.8 or 4 by 5. Okay, so this is the answer. Next question. Okay, This question was there in 2016, I guess. Okay. In a village, 3 people contested for the post of village pradhan. So there are 3 people who are contested for the post of pradhan. Due to their own interest, all the voters voted. One's vote was invalid. So everyone in the village voted. The losing candidate got 30% of vote. So initially we have 100% of vote, and suppose P1 lost. Okay. So P1 got 30% of vote. 30% of vote is the P1 got. So the remaining P2 and P3, that is, he is the winner. And what would be the minimum absolute margin by which the winning candidate led by the nearest rival? So let P1, P2 and P3 be the nearest rival, and P1 be the winner and P2 be the rival. Okay, so we have to tell what would be the margin between these two. Winner, by how much margin the winner won the election, we have to say. So for these two, 70% of votes are there. Okay, 30%, loser got the 30%, and for these two, the combined vote is 70%. Okay, let us think like that. If they both have got equal number of votes, so 35% and 35%. Okay, but one is the winner from this. So if one vote, he is the winner, P2 is the winner. So if one vote from here, it goes to here. So how many votes would P2 get? He would get 36 and P3 would get 34. Okay, now what is the margin of votes? It is 36 minus 34, which is equal to 2. So margin of votes is 2. Next question. Ajay spent 44,620 on shopping and 32,764 on buying laptop, and remaining 32% of the total amount he had cash with him. So we have to tell what is the total amount. These types of questions are very easy. So suppose 32% of the total he had cash with him. So in total of 100%, 32% he had in cash, and 68%, the remaining 100 minus 32%, he spent it. Okay, so how much he spent? He spent this and this, the two amount given. So when you add 44,620 and 32,764, so you will get it as 48377. So you will get this. Okay, now this amount is the amount which is spent. So this is equal to 68%. So this is a shortcut. If this amount is equal to 68%, that is 68% is equal to this amount, then 100% would be equal to the total amount. So what would be the 100%? So this is simple. This is this divided by 100. Sorry, this divided by 68 into 100. Okay, 34, 17. Okay, it will go. First, I'll go with 2 table only. So it is 1138. So the answer is 1138, and this 2 zeros. So this would be your answer. So a man's wage was reduced by 50%. Okay, and again the wage was increased by 50%. So first it was reduced by 50%, and again it was increased by 50%. Find its loss in terms of percentage. So this is very easy. You can solve it in within seconds, within 30 seconds. So let's see. Initially he had 100 rupees. His wage was reduced by 50%. So he have 50. So reduced by 50 means 50% has been reduced. After that, another 50% has been increased. So now what is the 50% of 50? It is 25. So plus 25, which is equal to 75. Now find the loss in terms of percentage. So what is the loss of original and the final? It is 25%. So loss is 25%. Next. A man's working hours a day were increased by 20%, and his wages per hour were increased by 15%. So working hours is also increased, wages is also increased. By how much percent his daily earning increased? So when these types of question is there, where we have, okay, so wages is equal to, daily earning is equal to working hours, how many hours the man has worked, into the wages per hour. So that would be equal to our earning. Okay, so you can say initially he worked for 100 hours. Okay, 100 hours, and for 100 rupees. Initially he worked for 100 hours for 100 rupees. So total we would be having 10,000. 10,000 rupees was his initial wage. Now what is it is saying, his wages were increased by 20%. So wages become 120 and his working hours, it is hours and it is wages. Working hours are increased by 20% and his wages is increased by 15%. It is 115. When we multiply it, we will get 115 into 12. It is 138. Okay. It is 13800. It would be the answer. Okay. Now, by how much person his earning has been increased? So we have to subtract these two. When we subtract these two, this amount is the extra one, that is 3800 is the extra one, but we have to calculate the percentage with respect to the first one, but according in comparison to the first one, how much it has been increased. So difference is 3800, so we have to calculate the percentage, so it would be divided by 10,000 into 100, so it is equal to 38%. Anand spent 20% of his monthly income. So okay, whenever these types of question are there, just take initially you have 100. Okay, so he spent 20% of his monthly income on food. So 20% he spent on food and 15% on his child's education. So 15% also he spent on his child's education. 40. So 20 plus 15, it is how much? It is equal to 35. So what is the remaining one? Remaining is 65. Next, 40% of the remaining. So 40% of 65 he spent on entertainment and transport together and 30% of medical. So this 40% and 30% of the remaining he spent on something. Okay, so what is 40 plus 30? It is 70. That is 70% of 65 he spent. He spent on something. So it would be 70 upon 100 into 65. You will get 45.52. Also he spent. So how much is remaining? 65 minus 45.52 is remaining. So when we subtract it, you will get 19.5. You'll get 19.5. Okay, so 19.5 is the percentage which is left. Okay, 19.5% is left with him. Now he is left with an amount of 8785. So 19.5 is equivalent to 8775. So 100% would be equivalent to what? This is how you have to calculate. It is very simple. It is 8775 divided by 19.5 into 100. Okay, so you will exactly get 450 as the answer. So this is the answer. It is the initial amount which we had. On a test consisting of 250 questions, so 250 questions are there, Neelima answered 40% of the first 125 questions. So you have divided these 250 questions into 125 and 125. Okay, so Neelima has answered first 40% of this 125 questions correctly. So we have to calculate the 40% of 125. So the same shortcut method. So 125 it is there. So 1% is 12.5. 12.5 into 2, it would be 25. So 12.5 into 4, it would be 50. So 40% of 125 is 50. So she answered 50 questions correctly in this. Okay, now from the what percent of the other 125 questions does she need to answer correctly for a grade on the entire exam to be 80%? Okay, so we would calculate the 60% of 250. Similarly, you can calculate 10% is 25. So 60% would be 25 into 60. It is 150. So she has to score 150 marks to get 60%. Okay, and she has only 50 questions correct. So what is the difference? 100 is the difference. So she has to answer 100 questions correctly. Okay, but in the question, the number of questions is not asked. In this, the percentage is asked. So how we will calculate percentage? Number of questions, 100 questions should be correct. Total number of questions is 125. From out of 125, if 100 questions are correct, then only you would get the result. So after cancelling out, you will get 80%. Okay, this is the answer. Next question. 5 kg tea and 8 kg sugar together cost rupees 172. Okay, so for like if we have these types of question, we can write it like this: 5 kg of tea, okay, plus 8 kg of sugar. That is, this tea is the price of 1 kg tea and this S is the price of 1 kg sugar. So 5 into 1 kg of tea is the price of 5 kgs of tea, and the price of 8 kgs of tea is equal to 172. Okay, if what they are saying, if the price of tea is risen by 20%. So if what is a 20% of 1? 20% of 1 would be 0.2, no. So the price of tea is risen by 20%, so it would be 5 into 1.2 T plus, and the sugar is risen by 10%, so it would be 8 into 1.1 S. Okay, the quantity would become, now the amount will become 19.20. This is what is given in the question. We have two equations and we have to solve these two equations and you will get the answer. Okay, what I'll do is, we want the price of the tea. So I'll try to eliminate sugar. So for eliminating sugar, this 1.1 is extra only, no? So I'll multiply the first equation by 1.1. So what I'll get is, when I multiply the first equation by 1.1, I'll get 5.5t plus 8 into 1.1 S, which would be equal to, when I multiply it with 11, 172, it would be 189, I think so, 189.1892. So it would be 189.2. Okay, so I'll just subtract. It is 12 5s, it is 6 minus 5.5 is 0.5t. This will just cancel out. Okay, if we subtract it, we will get, it is 10. So t would be equal to 10 divided by 1 by 2, which is equal to 20. So 20 would be the answer for this question. Okay, next question, let's see. 605 sweets were distributed equally among children in such a way, so total there are 605 sweets. They were distributed equally among children in such a way that the number of sweets received by each child, so number of sweets received by each child, so one child, I'll get it as C, total number of sweets is 605. Okay, so we have C, number of children. So number of sweets received by each child is 20% of total number of children. Let C be the total number of children. Okay, so number of chocolate with each child would be 20% of C. 20% of C. So when we multiply these two, we'll get total number of chocolates. This is number of chocolates. This is number of children. Number of children into number of chocolates would be equal to total number of chocolates. So we'll get C into 20 upon 100. C is equal to this. So when we cancel it out, it would be C square is equal to 605 into 5. 605 into 5 would be 520. I hope it is right. Okay, this is right only. This is this. And we calculate, then we calculate the square root of this, you will get, it is 55. Okay, there is a shortcut for square root also. You can go through various videos. There are some videos. The answer is 55. Number of children is 55. So the question is, how many sweets did each child have? This is number of children. Each child had how many children? 20% of 55. So you have to calculate 20% of 55. See, whenever we have 20%, you will just multiply with by 1 by 5. So 1 by 5 of 55 would be 11. You can remember this. See, 20% means 20 upon 100 would know. You can directly write it as 1 by 5. You can remember these values of percentages. You can solve them very easily. So for square roots also, you can go through some videos. I can show you a shortcut and fast way also. Suppose we have to find the square root of 3025. So here the last digit is 5. Okay. So whenever the last digit is 5, in the square root also the last digit would be 5. So we'll make pair of 2, 1 and 2. Okay, we'll leave the last pair and we'll take the first remaining digits. So 30. So we'll check. 4 4s are 16, 5 5s are 25. So 6 6 are 36. So it would lie between either 5 or 6. It would be either 5 or 6. It can be 55 or 65. Now what we have to do, I'll multiply this 5 with the next number. I'll take 5 and I'll multiply the 5 with the next number. 5 6 are 30. So these two are equal. So I'll take this 5. So 55 would be the square root of 3025. You can go through more videos for the shortcuts for square roots. Next. In a company, 40% of the employees are matriculates. So whenever percentage is there, you can take 100%. Out of this, 40% are matriculates. And 50%, so what are the remaining? 50. They are saying 50% of the remaining. So if 40% of matriculates, the remaining is 60%. Okay, and what are they saying? 50% of the remaining. So 50% of 60%. So 60 60% or 50% would be, it would be 30. So 50% of the remaining are graduates. So these 30 are graduates and the remaining. So whoever is remaining, another 30% is remaining, are postgraduates. Okay. So this 30% is equal to what? 180. And the remaining 180. So and the remaining is 30% and these 180 are postgraduate. So what is the question? What is the number of graduates? The graduate is 30%. 30% is equal to 180. So 180 is the number of graduates in the company. Next question. A sum of 2263 is divided among A, B and C in such a way A receives 25% more than C. So I'll write A receives 25% more than C. See, why did I write this? A receives C plus 25% of C. Okay, when we calculate it, taking LCM, you will get 125 upon 100 by C. So whenever this type of question is there, you have to remember this. It is 25% more than C. A receives 25% more than C. And C receives 25% less than B. So it is less than, so I'll subtract 25 from 100 and put it in the numerator. So this is the question. And the sum is what? 2236. So total is A plus B plus C is what? 2236. Now what is asked? What is A's share in the amount? So we will convert everything in terms of A. So it would be A. Okay. It would be A. For C, what we can write for C? C is equal to 100 by 125. 100 by 125 A. Okay. For B, what we can write? For B, we can write B would be equal to 100 by 75 C and C is equal to 100 by 125 A. So this is for B we can write. So we can write it as 100 into 100 upon 75 into 125 A. It is equal to 2236. You can cancel it out. It is 25 5s are, it is 25 4s are, it will be 25 5s are, it will be 25 4s are, 25 3s are, 25 2s are, 4s are. So it is A plus 16, 4 for the 16 by 15 plus 4 by 5 is equal to 2236. Sorry, this is all A. Okay, when we sum it up, we can solve all this. You will get, we can just take the LCM and solve. It is 15A plus 16A plus 12A, okay, divided by 15 is equal to 2236. So this is sum up to 43, I think so, 43, yes. So A would become 2236 into 15 by 43, which would be equal to, I'll cut it, it'll go in 43 table, I think so. 43 5s are, it will go 5, it would be 5, it would be 2s are 86, 2s are. So it is 15 into 52, 15 into 52 is 5 2s are 10, it would be 8 and it would be 7. 780 would be the answer for this question. Okay, next question. A sum of 6100 was divided among 8 men. So this is, whenever these type of questions are there, there is another method to solve this. So you have to just write everything. So sum of we are dividing what? The sum of 6100 is divided among 8 men, 10 women and 12 children. Okay, in such a way that men receive 25% more than women. So I'll write men receive 125 of 100 women, and women receive, and each woman received 25% more than a child. So woman is 125 upon 100 of a child. So sum is what? Men plus women plus what we have, 8 into men plus 10 into women plus 12 into child should be equal to 6100. This is what is given, and we have to find it for women. So we'll convert everything in terms of women. So 8 into men. So men is 125 by 100 of women. So 8 into this we can write it as 5 by 4. So 8 into 5 by 4 of women plus 10 women plus See, child in terms of women would be 100 upon 125. Okay, 12 into 100 upon 125, we can write it as 4 by 5. 12 into 4 by 5 equal to 6100. If we can just cancel it out, we can just solve it. It would be easier only. We can just solve it. 10, 20, and it is 48 by 5. 48 by 5 is 9 around something. So it would be 29.6. 29.6. This is 20 and this would be 9.6. And 48 by 5 is 9.6. So it would be 9.6 W, 6100. So W is equal to 6100 upon 29.6. So you can calculate roughly by using 30 also. I'll use a calculator now. It would take a lot of time. 206.08. This is the answer. So next question. A person spends 70% of his income. So if he have 100 rupees, he spent 75%. Okay, this is expenditure. If his income increases, so savings would be 25. It is savings. Okay, now we are telling what? If his income increases by 15%. So if his income is, the income is 20%. So his income is 120 and expenses increase by 15%. So 15% is increased by 15%. That is 115 upon 100 into 75. This is his expenses, and his expenses increased by 15%. We have to find the savings, that by how much time, by how much his savings would be increased. It is 3, it is 4. It is 15, 3 by 4. 15, 3 by 4 is 342, 345 by 4. Okay, this is 345 by 4. So initially, this is his expenditure now. Okay, now what would be savings? Savings would be income minus expenditure. That is 120 minus 345 by 4. Okay, this is his savings. So he'll get 48. Okay, he'll get 135 by 4 would be the savings. So this is his final saving. This is his initial saving. We have to find the increase in saving. So it would be 135 by 4 minus 25 by 25 into 100. So you can just solve it. When water is changed into ice, so water is changed into ice, it increases by 9%. So first water, it is 100. When it is changed into ice, it is increased by 9%. It becomes 109. If ice is changed back into if ice is changed back into water, what is the percentage decrease in volume? So initially it was 9, finally it was 100. So we have to find the decrease in volume with respect to ice when ice is changed to water. So from ice we are changing to water. So in the denominator we will having now 109, and the difference between these two is 9. This is 9 upon 109 into 100. So when you solve it, you will get 900 upon 109. So you can calculate it. 109 into 8, 28 upon 109 remainder. So this would be a answer. Next question. The price of the oil is increased by 30%. So initially it was 100 and after that it's become 130. 30% is increased, so after that it become 130% of 30% increase. Why? So 130 upon 100 is, this is the percentage, increase percentage, that is 130 upon 100 is the increase percentage. When these types of question is there, what I finally do is the final value is 130. So in the denominator I'll write 130, and what is the difference between these two? It is 30. This 30 upon 130, we have to find the percentage into 100. So you can just calculate it. You'll get 300 upon 13. This is the answer. Or you can write 23, 300 upon 13, 23 1 by 13. This would be your answer. Next question. In the year 2017, 5,000 students were admitted in a college. So 5,000 students are admitted. it is found that the number of students admitted, it's constantly increasing 24% per year. So whenever the population types of question are there, or growth of a tree, it is constantly, the height of a tree is constantly increasing 2 centimeters per year, like that type of question are there, whereas constant increasing is there in terms of percentage. So here you should use this formula. That is, so okay, initially the students are 5,000. This formula is generally used in compound interest. So compound interest is also it also increases the amount constantly, no? So same type of would be used. So from 2017 to 19, number of years is 2 years. Okay, and the percentage of increase is 24. Initially the amount was 5,000. So initial amount into 1 plus rate is 44 upon 100 to the power the time. You can calculate it like this. Okay, so you'll get this is as 6 by 25. 25 plus 6 is 31. 31 by 25 whole square into 5,000. 31 square, you can use a shortcut also, or if you remember, it is well and good. So you can solve it. Actually how I solve it is, I like to solve it like this only. 31 into 31 upon 25, 25 ones are 25 fours are 25 ones are 25 twos are, and 31 square I actually don't remember, so I'll always solve it. It is 0 1, it is 0 9, 3 to 3, 3 to 6, so it would be 0 6, it is 961. So this whole thing, it will become 961 into 8. So this I can multiply. It is 8867. So this is your answer. So whenever these types of question is there, you have to directly use this formula. Thank you. If you like the video, please click the like button and please do share. Thank you very much.